Alrighty, traders, this is Blake Morrow, and you are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session, and happy Monday to you. It's been, I don't want to say it's been fairly quiet. FX markets had a little bit of volatility, but, we're basically consolidating our recent dollar gains today. But what's really that's sticking out to me anyway, something that I really want to point out is the euro dollar does look weak. And the euro, if you look at this flag pattern, I think it's a pretty important pattern. Excuse me. Of course, as soon as I start talking, now I've got a I've got a burp. Sorry about that. But look at the way that this flag has been forming. I've had this drawn out this morning, myself. It's a pennant flag, however you want to look at it. I've had it drawn basically like this, but look what happened today. A retest of basically the underside of the pennant, and then we're back at these lows. So we're at the 78% retracement of this move. If this plays out, which as we see it right now, it looks like it's going to, it'll play out like this, which would take us below the 117 level. Then if we break below 117, then at that point in time, it gives us the opportunity to, sell rallies back into previous support. We got a double, or previous support, current resistance. It's got a double top, and that in itself should take us, back down towards the, 116, 115 area. As I explained to you guys on the FACE webinar, and this is really my buy zone where I'd love to be long the US dollar, the euro dollar over the course of the next couple of days, or maybe the next week or two. But I can't ignore the fact that the dollar actually looks like we're going to get a little bit of a, a rally here. And so if the dollar rallies, this is what I think is going to happen to the euros. We're going to break through that 117, and then we're going to be able to sell rallies in the 117 as we approach 116 and maybe even 115. Okay, so that's kind of how I see the euro right now. Cable is acting pretty well, I have to admit. The pound, rallied, and obviously we're stalling at previous support, acting as current resistance at 131.05. 131 was a resistance for the cable on today's bias chart, and today's high is 131.03. So obviously that resistance is holding up pretty well. The Aussie, previous support, acting as current resistance at 71.80. The highs today are 71.84. The resistance that we wrote down earlier this morning is 71.75. And so we shot past it just a little bit, but really we're holding below. So these are all really important levels that I believe are holding in the Aussie, the euro, the cable. You take a look at the dollar Canadian. The dollar Canadian came down to the 38% retracement, which is the top of the support zone. This support resistance zone, we've had it drawn for months, I guess, and you can see we came right to the top of that support zone, and we bounced earlier this morning. If you were in the if you're around, I was telling people I'm buying it at 131.39, so, or 38, excuse me. So anyway, big bounce from there. Look at the dollar Mexican peso. This is kind of wild. Let's go over to a 15-minute chart. This is the dollar Mexican peso over the last couple of days, and notice the support level that's really holding right here. Okay, I mean, we have tried desperately to dip below 22.30 unsuccessfully. For the last few sessions, down below 22.35, it's bought up. So that's important in my opinion, because if the dollar Mexican peso breaks the 22.60, that should take us right back to the 22.90 level resistance. All right. So kind of keeping a very close eye on the dollar Mexican peso around these levels. One last thing I want to bring to your attention, the US dollar Norwegian krona. This currency pair, in the event that we break 908, that's going to be a pretty big deal. I did make this my chart of the day last week. As we hit the resistance, we're getting back towards that resistance. And we made a brief new low, which was a false breakdown, which in my opinion should lead to an eventual breakout higher. So because of that, I think the risks are starting to build that you see a dollar recovery. You know, again, you might see it more in the euro. You might see it more in the, you know, the dollar Canadian or maybe the Aussie, but you might actually see it more in, you know, obscure currencies like the Scandinavian ones, like the US dollar Norwegian krona, which I think is something that we need to pay close attention to. And even if you're not trading it, if it just starts breaking out, I think you have to take that as a cue that the dollar might actually be moving against other currencies as well, not just the US dollar Norwegian krona, but it might actually be a move against the euro as well. Oh, I do want to just point out that what we're seeing today in the stock market is rotation. Yes, the Nasdaq is down. The Nasdaq has pushed lower, but what we've seen is the S&P is holding up pretty well. The Dow's up on the day. So you're getting money rotating out of NASDAQ and into other stocks. So unless you have all three indexes moving lower at the same time, right now it's just simple rotation, which isn't bearish for equities right now. When you're just getting money rotating, it's not. It's you know, I look for no rotation, because if I get no rotation, that means there's probably going to be more of a rush to buy dollars than, you know, than in any other situation. All right. If you guys are listening in and you're listening in live, I want to thank you as always for your support. We really appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're not, make sure you, and you're watching this like an hour after the fact, make sure you join ForexAnalytix. Try it out. It's $1 for 10 days. You will get the premium version. You'll be able to jump in the chat rooms. You'll be able to listen in to all the webinars. You'll be able to download the mobile app and use it. All right. No matter what version you're using, you always have the mobile app. So thanks for listening in, guys. Have a great one. And I will see you tomorrow morning on the Face webinar. So thanks, everybody. And thanks, Brock. Appreciate your support. Have a great one, guys.